Okay, so tonight we're talking about using our scale factors to help us with different things. We talked a little bit in class today about using maps. We talked a little bit about using some diagrams and different items. So in our first example here, what we've been asked to do, we have a triangle that's 12 units tall by 8 units long here. And we've been asked to reduce this with a scale factor of 3 to 4. So again, if you remember in class today, we talked that when it comes to scale factoring, we can use proportions to help us with whatever we may need to determine. So if we're going to use a scale factor of 3 to 4, all right, 3 units in the new one represents 4 units in the original. So if we want to get our new height, 12 units is an original height. So we want to line that up. Again, labels. Come up with some kind of a labeling system so you can represent each piece and make sure your pieces represent the same thing. So this would be 4 units on the original is going to shrink to 3 units on the new one. So 12 units on the original, this is the value we want to come up with. And again, when it comes to our proportions, it's all about cross multiplying. So we're going to go 3 times 12 divided by 4. So our new triangle would be 9 squares tall. We can apply the same factor to the other dimensions. Okay, again, 4 units on the original, 8 units on the original. Very similar setup, very similar solution. 3 times 8 divided by 4. 24 over 4, so we would have, so our new triangle would be 9 units tall and have a base of 6 squares. Okay, so again, that's how we can use our scale factor here. This would represent the new picture, new diagram, new map, and the second value would represent your original diagram or your original shape, whatever you were dealing with at the time. Okay. All right, so we have another question here. Calculate the new perimeter of our triangle if it is increased by a factor of 1.5. All right, so again, now we're kind of going in the opposite direction for this problem. We are increasing by a scale factor of 1.5. One and a half is also equivalent to 3 to 2. So again, when it comes to building your proportions, when it comes to our proportions, if we want to use 3 to 2 as our first ratio, all right, we know that we were 12 units tall here. That's on our original. Okay, so again, we are increasing. So again, 2 squares on the original is going to be 3 squares on the new one. 2 squares on the original is going to be 3 squares on our new. So the 12 is one of our original dimensions. All right, so we solve this proportion. We get 36 divided by 2. So we're going to have, if we solve our proportion there, we're going to get 18 for the one side. All right, now we're going to calculate another proportion for the base up here. So we solve that, 24 divided by 2. So our base is going to be 12 units long. And since we are calculating perimeter, we are going to need all three. The third side is 14. So we are going to need to go through all three proportions here. 52 divided by 2, no, excuse me, 42 divided by 2 is 21 for our third side. And so once we get all those, then our perimeter, add all three sides together, 41 units would be our new one. Okay, so again, big thing is proportions tonight, and then recognize that you usually want to put your originals Just make sure your original drawings match up with each other. Do the best you can and bring any questions you have to class tomorrow. Have a good night.